The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning from TFNN. Welcome to the June 13th, fantastic Friday edition of today's opening bell on The Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, the daily newsletter service that is the intelligence for creating financial freedom. Hope everyone out there had a terrific Thursday. But most importantly, I want you to know that I'm grateful for your presence here this morning. Our first course of action is to make sure that we know our daily outcomes, because without knowing our outcome, well, we're just simply flying blind. And for me, my outcome during the next couple of hours, well, it's actually during the next hour today, is to teach you how to master the tools for trading. And that includes the tools of the mind, because when you and I, when we can master the tools of our mind, we begin to think like a strategist. And that's really important because most folks only concentrate on tactics. And this, folks, it applies to every aspect of our life. We've got to always think like a strategist. Look, if you're going to make a sales call this morning, otherwise what I like to refer to as influencing someone, then do it with a deep voice. You see, a deep voice exudes confidence and authority, whereas a high-pitched voice sounds like a salesperson. You know what I mean? Strategy versus tactic. If you were actually out there dialing for dollars as a salesperson, do not do it with a high-pitched voice. Think about it if you were on the other end of the call out there, folks. A deep voice exudes confidence and authority. Well, look, let's get back to trading. I could spend all day on the differences between strategy and tactics when it comes to many different things in life. Let's get back to trading, because this morning you'll hear me use tactical terms. Things like A to B equals CDs, swing points, Gartleys and butterflies, various candlestick signals that the sign makers of the markets, the bulls and the bears, form for you and I on every time frame that we trade. And knowing how to use these tactical tools is really important. But you see, the real key to trading and investing, the real key to getting your money to work harder for you than you do for it, is to have a strategy. And that's what I call mastering probability, because, folks, using tactics without strategy is a recipe for failure, and failure is not an option in our playbook. Now, we got to make sure we do not conclude that failure and losing money are the same thing, because they are not. You see, in trading and investing, our only spoilage is money. Just like it's garbage day for most people tomorrow. Well, I can't say for most people, but it's garbage day. It was garbage day this week. That means you should go through your refrigerator and throw out all that bad food out there. That's just like throwing away money and just simply running the business of a household out there. Here's the key in trading and investing. As long as we use stops, as long as we have an exit strategy that covers both sides of the trade, that means use a bracketed order, and one cancels the other, then loss of money is nothing more than spoilage resulting from a failed trade pattern that you decided to take out there. It's what's called really knowing your system expectancy. And in your system expectancy, which is your ultimate performance tool, says you're going to have wins and losses out there. So today and every day, let's do what we can to think like a strategist, because strategists, they slay the tactician all day long. And let's go look at one of our tools that helps us think like a strategist. The tool I call the shadow of ignorance is fear. You know, it is Friday the 13th, a day that many fear, and fear is one of the greatest challenges that you and I face. Fear holds us back from being the person that we want to become. Fear prevents us from loving ourselves. It prevents us from loving others. Fear locks us inside an invisible prison. That's not to say that fear doesn't have its uses that can serve us, such as the instinctive awareness of danger, and, of course, without fear of consequences in a risky situation, such as trading and investing, we might rush in where angels fear to tread. Of course, a lot of folks rush in and don't use stops. So fear, folks, fear is really a question. Think of it like this. What is it that you're afraid of, and why? And write this down on a piece of paper, folks, because if you try to solve things in your head, you can't. They would have already been solved. Do it on paper. In fact, write all of your fears down on paper, because our fears are really a treasure trove of self-knowledge as long as we're willing to explore them. Cicero, he once said this. Think about this. You should write this down. He once said, no power is strong enough to be lasting if it labors under the weight of fear. You're familiar with the expression, what you don't know won't hurt you, or ignorance is bliss? Well, folks, that's all BS. It's all before Steve, because nothing could be further from the truth. Ignorance is not bliss. It causes fear and confusion. The shadow of ignorance is fear. Like on January 6, 1941, FDR, he wrote in his message to Congress the following: "We look forward to a world founded upon four essential human freedoms. The first is freedom of speech and expression everywhere in the world. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way everywhere in the world. The third is freedom from want everywhere in the world. And fourth, the freedom of fear anywhere in the world." We know that's not how it works out in today's world out here, but this is something to strive for. Look, I'd like to leave you with this thought for the day, and that's this. An optimist interprets life in the most favorable way possible and trusts that the best that can happen will, while the pessimist fears misfortune and therefore can, and guess what, will attract all those misfortunes into their life. When it comes to your fears, become an optimist, because there is always much to learn. Regardless of how much we already know, there's always much to learn. Let me just leave it like this. In the game of life, or the game of business and trading, it's hard enough. It's hard enough as it is. So why beat yourself up? How is that going to help things? Something to think about. Work wonders from within, folks. It is Fantastic Friday. This is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes, and welcome to the show. Right now in the futures market, we've got S&P futures up a couple of points. They're traded out at 1925.50. Is that a selling opportunity? Russell 2000. Kind of flat out here, trading 1155.80. Crude futures are flat right now. They're trading at 106.53. NASDAQ futures up 9 points, trading at 37.74. Gold futures down $1. They're trading out at 12.72. The Dow futures, they're up 10. They're trading at 16.688. Silver is flat. It's trading at 19.54. Our call-in number is 877 927-6648. Let's take a quick peek here at what's going on also in the pre-market out here. Hope some of you have some shares of Open Table. They closed at $70.43 last night. Priceline is going to be buying them out for $2.6 billion out here. The stock is trading out at $104.30. That is a good evening. That is a 48% increase. 48%. Man, I sure hope somebody out there's got some Open Table. I've used that service before. Cool service out there. Now we know it's worth $104 a share. You've got Yelp. YELP is a ticker symbol. I don't know. Maybe they're getting a little bit of action here because of the Open Table transaction. They closed at 65.84. It's trading at 72.70 right now. Express Inc. EXPR is a ticker symbol. They close at 13.55. They're trading up about 22% this morning. Trading down at 16.63 in the pre-market. Intel closed at 27.96. Boy, that SOX index, that is on fire. You know, I know we had some selling in the market yesterday, but if you took a look at the SOX, and in fact, we're going to take a look at the weekly charts. That's one of the things we ought to do, just kind of keep things in a frame of reference out here. Intel closed at 27.96. It's trading at 29.89 as we speak. To the downside, you've got Finisar. FNSR is a ticker symbol. It closed at 25.25. It's trading down 6% right now. I'm sorry, 23%. It's trading down about $6, 5.89 to be exact. Trading down at 19.36. Looks like they missed revenue, missed earnings, mixed guidance they've got out there. So that's getting hammered to the downside. You've got CommScope Holdings, COMM. Ticker symbol. It closed at 23.63. Not a big deal, down 1% out there. So the biggest mover to the downside, well, you've got the TLT itself. That's also down about, not too much. It closed at 112.21. It's trading out at 111.50. All right, let's go take a look at the futures market first. Let's take a look at yesterday's action. What happened yesterday? Let me put up this chart out here. We'll put up the 120-minute time frame chart for the NASDAQ. This is one of the charts. So I use 3 different charting tools out here. All wonderful charting tools. This happens to be the Ensign Windows package out here. Now, eSignal's got a tool that I'm also trying to manipulate. Manipulate's not the right word. Trying to work so that it also easily identifies expansions and contractions between swing points. That's what I've got on the and they've got that tool out there, so I'll work with that. But here, what you can see different measurements, and this is not exactly correct. So you've got to be good at being able to pick out swing points. That's for sure. And swing points are nothing more than where you see significant changes in the change in trend in a marketplace out here. But if you come down to this candle session right here at the time frame, that's 10 o'clock in the morning. That's June the 4th. I'll just go ahead and pull this in a little bit. You can see that's a swing point out there. Also happens to be what? What kind of candle? What kind of candle that the Bulls and the Bears are making for us? That's right. That's a hammer candle, one of Stevie's favorite candles out there. So you got a hammer candle. That occurred back here, 10 o'clock in the morning. That was on, again, June the 4th. The price level there, $37.14. Look, folks, if you go from that low to the high that we've seen inside of the NASDAQ futures, that came in at 10 o'clock in the evening out here, 10 o'clock. That was on June 11th. That high, by the way, was 38.06. You'll see that the retracement down in the price here yesterday coming into the 4 o'clock session. So it wasn't at 4 o'clock. It was during that 2-hour 4 o'clock session out here on a 120-minute time frame chart. That low was 37.51. You'll see that is very close to the 0.618 retracement. And what did it do? The Bulls rushed in. So that says that's a hammer candle out there. That's 37.51.50. That's the key level to be watching today out here. If, in fact, the sellers are back in full force and they take that out, if you're long, you're wrong. That's if you're trading on a 120-minute time frame. Because if you were trading on a different time frame out here, let's, in fact, go do this. That was the NASDAQ, right? Let me change. This is one of my other charting tools. So you see 3 different charting tools out here. This is the Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal that I built on the Ninja Trader platform out here. If I go to a weekly time frame, if we go take a look at the NQ out here, let me do that. Give me a moment. I've got to do that real quickly here before we go to the break. Take a look at this. Now, as we speak for this week, is there anything bullish or bearish that you see about this pattern that we've seen here so far? The answer is absolutely, positively no. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Investors, Taz Market Research delivers to its subscribers expert commentary on the analysis of 15 different markets each day. Get this invaluable and timely information through the daily market research videos Taz Market Research produces each day before 9 a.m. The video analysis will include reports on currencies, interest rates, indices, metals, energies, grains, and more. You'll be able to gauge where high profitability setups are in each of the markets. Receive a free 2-week trial subscription to Taz Market Research videos on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
With the launch of TigerTV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Steve takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. And really just try to keep things in perspective out here. And, of course, it all depends on the type of time frame it is that you're managing your funds on as far as what it is that you should be looking at in the chart. If you're long-term, if you're a long-termer with regard to managing your IRA funds out there, your retirement funds, or just any funds, really, if you're looking for a long-term approach out there, certainly you need to understand that turns are going to occur in shorter-term time frames first, right? 30-minute will turn before 120-minute will turn before a 240-minute, before a daily, a weekly, a monthly, and so forth. But you need to stay inside your time frame out there. Now, look, it is Friday the 13th, so we're nowhere near the end of the month out here. This is the NASDAQ out here, and if you take a look at the monthly chart, there is no reversal signal to speak of. There is none. There's no bearish pattern. You've got price moving higher on less relative strength. That's cool. That's a potential pattern. It's only a potential pattern. You just kind of are aware of it. It's like knowing that there's a traffic up in front of you. So there's a bit of traffic here. That's a monthly chart for the NASDAQ that we're looking at. We took a look at the weekly. If we go down to the daily, so it just depends on the time frames that you're looking at. Right inside the NASDAQ, the move yesterday really didn't do a whole lot. Did not do a whole lot. Today, if you see it close below 37.47, I'm not saying that you won't. I'm just saying if you see it close below 37.47, that, if you were using from a daily time frame, that'll say, okay, we've got some retracement, maybe a deeper retracement that is ongoing, and it's going to be different on each type of tool or chart that we look at, right? If we go take a look at the daily chart, let's go take a look at the daily chart for the Dow futures right now. We're looking at the futures Oops, that was a mistake out there. We're looking at the futures contract because we've got trading that's going on out here, so that just helps us. Let's take a look at the Dow futures. Let me put on the continuous out here so I've got all the proper data. Dow futures look a whole lot dimmer than the NASDAQ, don't they? It's a little bit of divergence out here. Whereas we had the NASDAQ leading things lower, a month ago or so, now you've got the Dow that is doing it. It's given us some reversal-type signals, some cautionary signs out here with regard to it being below 16,736. If it can close the day out above 16,736, 16,757, well, that would alleviate in fact, quite frankly, I can't say today's candle. I'm not going to use today just yet. We'll have to take a look at that on Monday morning. But so far, the damage, relatively minimal. That's the daily, though. Let's take a look at the weekly out here. What do we have as far as information for us on the weekly? Well, the weekly, here is something to be concerned about when it comes to the Dow. You've got a price relative strength divergent pattern. That's where price moves higher with less relative strength out there. That is not a good thing when you get a reversal signal. You see, a tactic might be knowing about this pattern. A strategy says, I want you to communicate to me. Come on, bring it on to me. Tell me, communicate what's going on. You see, what's so interesting, look, I'll give you the secret. You want the secret out here? The secret is about communication in anything in life. You know that to be true. Well, if that's true, Why wouldn't it be true when it comes to the stock market? It is. Why wouldn't it be true when it comes to taking a look at a chart out there? It is. That's the whole secret. You'll find all kinds of books that talk about tactics, but you won't find any books that really put it all together. Stevie's son right here, I'm giving you the secret. This is about being able to put it all together. If you want to understand that, if you want to understand how this works out here, I'll talk to Tom. We'll put together another Master Trader series out there. And just because we call it Master Trader, that doesn't mean if you're beginning that it's over your head. I make things, I link the known to the unknown out there. Well, let me tell you about the known. The known is when you get a reversal opinion, when you get a reversal signal out there, that's when it is that you can take action, especially if you get follow through. Now, this week is not over, so this candle session is very important. What's a bearish engulfing candle? Well, out of 5 reversal signals, it's the middle of the road. It's number 3 out there, with 5 being the strongest. The strongest being a gap down or a separating line out there. I'm not going to go through all those, but as we speak right now, but that would be the, so it's a great reversal signal, especially if it has follow through. In this case here, it would be the next day. It would be the next day, or the next candle session is what I should say. That makes this, right now, bearish engulfing candle will occur today if the Dow futures close below 16,662. That's the number to put on your pad of paper, 16,662. At that stage, then the weekly chart will actually be giving us a signal of a potential topping type pattern. What kind of topping pattern? Do I think this is it? No. My outlook hasn't changed. The market is doing really as I expected it would do. We still are going to have a good summer rally. This is all about being able to identify spots where you're going to take your position. Monthly chart out here, if we take a look at the monthly chart, hey, this kind of gives you a little bit of a picture. Monthly chart is no damage when we take a look at the Dow futures out here. So monthly, still in good shape. Daily and weekly, though, it's got to say, something to think about. Maybe we get back, we'll go take a look at a short-term time frame chart of the Dow futures and see what its message is. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back, folks.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the diagnostic box spread analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's diagnostic box spread analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or TigerTV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're up to the races. We got the Dow up 13 points, trading out 16,747. S&P up 3, trading 1932. NASDAQ up 16, traded 43.13. Russell up 4 points, trading 1163 out here. New York Stock Exchange up 9. Goldilocks up 30 cents. Silver up a nickel. Light sweet crude up 12 pennies. Leading the charge, the upside, it is Open Table up that nice $33. A nice 47% profit out there. Yelp up about 9, up 13%. Express up $3. Western Digital, WDC, up $2.40. Intel up $1.80. Amazon up $2. HomeAway up $1.46. Intercloud up $1.51. Pandora Media up $1. To the downside, Finisar Corp off 5. You've got GNC Holdings down $1.89. Icky Bank down $1.48. Wisdom Tree, EPI, it's one of their ETFs out there, off 66 cents out here. So not a lot to the downside. I see Nike is off about 48 cents out there. Nothing big to the downside. So I did mention looking at a short-term chart since we were looking at the Dow. Let's pay attention to the Dow here. I'm going to show you. Remember, we were taking a look at that weekly chart, how important it is with regard to the Dow futures and that weekly price relative strength divergence in order for it to go ahead and form a reversal signal out there, a bearish engulfing candle. If you take a look at the Dow on a 30-minute chart, so talking about stepping things down a bit here and really trying to get underneath the covers, well, that's what we're doing here is a 30-minute chart. As price was moving down yesterday, all right, and you see, this applies to any chart. That's the cool thing. It really doesn't matter what's behind it. Don't get caught up on that. Just simply get caught up on the patterns that trade out here. When price moves lower and it does it with less momentum out there, that's telling you that the move may not be real. How do you know that it's not real? Well, you know that it's not real when the bulls rush in. And the only way that the bulls can rush in is they have to paint a sign. They have to paint a sign for us. They do that with Japanese candlestick charting out there. That's what's so cool about it. So as price was moving down, you can see that price began moving down. Let me put my cursor out here for you. That price began moving down, making a lower low with higher relative strength out there, meaning less relative weakness right on the way down. That began at 1:30 in the afternoon. It continued on. That was the first signal that I got using my system, okay, that I've put together. Totally different than the way anybody else really looks at it out there. And just simply because I've been able to go back and backtest things to try to identify when patterns work or when they make sense out here. It continued on at 2 o'clock. It continued on. It's a 30-minute chart we're looking at 2:30. It just tactically, somebody might have said, hey, there's price relative strength, and I'm just going to go ahead and buy that low there. That's what a tactician would do. And a tactician will absolutely get slayed by a strategist out here. because there was other than that tactic, there was no signal at all. The signal didn't come till right here, coming into the 4 p.m. close during that 30-minute session between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. And why? Because the Bulls had to show themselves. They played their card. They had to show themselves. It's like a poker game. Do you like poker out there? Do you like blackjack out there? You get to see the dealer flip the card before you make a decision out there. That's the beauty of trading. Way different than Las Vegas, because in Vegas or anywhere else that you might go to trade, some type of gambling table, you got to shove your money out there, whatever it is you're going to bet. And then when you see those cards, you might see something, you say, no, I'm going to take my money back. In trading and investing, you get to do that. You may not get it all back, right? Because the market has moved one way or the other, perhaps against you, but you get to pull the majority of it back, depending on how quick you're able to react out there. Well, in the case of the Dow futures here, what did they form yesterday, coming in at 4 p.m.? They formed a price relative strength divergent pattern, confirmed with a bullish engulfing candle, and it had a second opinion. You got to love it. That means that the low that was put in here yesterday at 4 o'clock is muy importante. Now, I'm not saying that we're out of the woods here. But if you want to understand why price does what it does, where does it stop, when should you adjust stops and things of that sort, then what you really want to be able to do is you want to be able to read the message of the markets out here. And right now, that says that the Bulls have got their line of defense out here covering the area of 16,704. You're at 16,750. So if the market does bounce today, don't be asking yourself why in the face of news or this or that. Screw all the news. Because the news is and the information is in the chart. This doesn't say, hey, if you're short, to go ahead and close out the position. This helps you to understand the patterns that are out there. This, in fact, helps you to say, if you're short, you want to see this thing break below 16,704. You want to break the back of the bulls out there. That's what this is communicating to you. You've got to do your own reward to risk and determination and use different time frame charts in order to be able to make your trading decisions. But that's what's going on the shorter term time frame. That's what's going on inside the Dow futures. That's why price stopped where it did and then just simply moved sideways to work off on an intraday time period. The overbought or oversold condition is really what it was doing here yesterday. So that 16,704, that's an area for us to be watching. Now let's go take a look at some stocks that are moving in the marketplace. Let's go see what it is that is up today. Today's movers. Let's go see where things are moving into. Let's take a look at Yelp, Y-E-L-P. Let's take a look at it on its daily chart. Looks like it's taking out a potential swing point. Let's blow this chart up on our screen here. It's up above the unfair high, so it's up above resistance. Volume so far behind the move, 3.8 million shares today, taking out a swing point from back on May 29th that has got 8.6 million shares. So that's a beauty. It's up above that swing. Let's pull this back further, see if there's any kind of resistance that it's traveling into. This is Yelp out here. If we just simply come straight over to the left, yeah, it's up above some resistance, a little bit of a supply line right out here. We'll see if that now acts as support, and that's the candle session from April 4th. 12 million shares there to the downside, the high of which is 71.62. If we can stay above that, then this is setting up a move higher. Now, with regard to A to B equals CD patterns, it's really not much of a retracement here. Let me blow this up on my screen here. Makes it a little bit easier. When I say not much of a retracement, what I'm referring to here, let's take a look at our retracement ruler out here. Let's come from the low, the trading session on May 7th. That low is at 49.11. If I go from that low up to the high that was put in here, that's on May 29th, you'll see that the dead cat bounce of 0.382 retracement, normal retracement, would have taken us down to the price of about 61.32. The lowest low that took place inside of Yelp looks like it was on June 4th. That was out at 62.53, 62.53. That's the lowest low. Nonetheless, we could use that as A to B equals CD. We'll use that as a C point if, in fact, that's what is about to happen inside of Yelp. If we take our A point's going to be the low on May 7th, our B point's going to be the high here on May 29th, and the C point's going to be that low on June 4th. 1-to-1 A to B equals CD inside Yelp says it would target the 82.29-ish type level out there. And I would say if it stays above that resistance, that little high volume down thrusting candle session, Well, where was that it was going against? Right back here on April the 4th. That is the likely outcome. In fact, I'd have to say if it can pick up some steam and pick up some volume, the likely outcome would be a move much higher than 82.29, and that is on Yelp, Y-E-L-P. Let's take a look at Western Digital. That's up about 3% this morning, a little over 3%, up $2.96. It's taking on a resistance area, that resistance being 92.31. If it can close above 92.31 today, that would be a bullish move here as I look at the most recent movement in the stock. Now, it's taken on a swing point high from June 6th. That has volume of 1.6 million shares. No problem today. Already done 272,000 shares, so unless volume totally drops off, that looks pretty good. It's also moving into a swing point here that took place on April 4th. That's the one that it's dealing with. That's got 2.5 million shares out there. Not bad. 270,000 shares in only 12 minutes of trading out there. So it looks like it wants to go test its high. That is the price level of $95, even Steven out there. How about that? One of Basil's round number highs. Now, this had formed an A to B equals CD to the downside. If we take a look at that, what did Western Digital do off of its high out here, off of that round number high? The A point being, again, $95. That's on April the 4th. The B point being the low on April 11th, and the C being that little doji candle on April 26th. We'll see this did just about a 1 to 1.618 A to B equals CD to the downside. Now, when we use these lightning bolt tools, these A to B equals CD, these retracement levels, remember, there are measuring sticks to help guide us as to where price is likely to go to. Even though there are times, it always blows my mind away when it does work like that. Even though there are times when it works right to the penny, use these as Jack Sparrow would do. I think it's Jack Sparrow. If it's not Jack Sparrow, no, it's not Jack Sparrow. It's the other captain. Somebody help me out here. Who's the captain on that ship who said that it's guidelines? It's just all guidelines. Well, that's what these are. These are guidelines to help us identify and understand where price is likely to move to out here. So there's your A to B equals CD to the downside. You can also see an A to B equals CD to the upside, a lightning bolt pattern out here. Oops, I got to grab the right key. Let's do this. The A point is going to be the low that formed on May the 9th out there. Really, your B point is going to be a couple trading days later, May 14th, and your C point is going to be the low, little doji on April 22nd. You can see right now it's blasting through the 1 to 1.618 A to B equals CD. And we'll see if it passed the B point with volume. The B point, again, being May 14th, had volume of 2.9 million shares, passed with only 1.7 million shares, never got above that 2.9. Nonetheless, you can see how that lightning bolt still works and still helps you project price. This has a 1 to 2, and this is where price ought to stall inside of Western Digital's right back, because when you do a 1 to 2 A to B equals CD, it's pretty extended out there. And that says that price ought to stop somewhere near that $95 even Steven move out there. And what that is then setting up is a consolidation pattern with inside Western Digital. And the consolidation pattern looks like that has actually been in place. The consolidation low is really forming all the way back to December 18th of 2013. And if it stops at $59, well, then the consolidation high is being cemented at that April 4th high out there. That is on Western Digital. WDC is the ticker symbol. Let's take a look at what else we have moving here. Let's take a look at Priceline. Priceline, a leader to the downside dollar-wise. It doesn't take much in order for that to be a leader to the downside. It's trading off $11, a little less than 1%. Let's look at its daily time frame out here. This had formed a 1 to 2 A to B equals CD. So here's a great example. I don't know how this works in divine intervention out here, where I think I was using it as an example in Western Digital, 1 to 2 A to B equals CD. And voila, we open up Priceline, and we can see off of its A to B equals CD to the downside. That's off of the high from March 6th. That's down to the low, the B point on March 14th. That's a little bit of a retracement into March 21st out there. 1 to 2 A to B equals CD took you to a price level of 1093.17. Where did it actually get down to? Got down to 1096.61. You see, guidelines as, again, that's not Jack Sparrow, but until somebody tells me in the den who it was, or maybe Al will tell me what the name of the character of that captain was in Pirates of the Caribbean out there. I think that's the movie out there, and then I'll just have to try to remember it. Okay, so it does a 1 to 2 A to B equals CD to the downside, and then what does it do? It does some type of retracement. Let's go measure the retracement from our A point down to the low that was put in on the trading session here of April the 8th, and we'll see it did just a little bit above a 0.618 retracement out there. So that 0.618 retracement was taken at 1267.53 out here. Now let's go ahead. Let's delete these things off of the screen. Let's go take a little bit closer look at what's going on as we speak right now. So it's trading out at, come on, erase that. There we go. All right. Now let's take a look at Priceline, what it's currently doing, because this could be forming a larger A to B equals CD to the downside. I'll show you what that looks like. First, though, let's take a look at it's trading below its unfair low on a daily chart. That is neutral to bearish. Okay, it says if you were trading this from a daily time frame, it would be saying, hey, long might not be the right to trade here. The ultimate target for resistance becomes 1292. A break about 1292, and it says definitely be bullish out there. And I know my guy Al says it's Jack Sparrow. Yeah, but I don't know if it was Jack Sparrow that said that these are just guidelines. I think it was the guy who played the captain in that movie out there. I should know this. But anyway, my apology, I don't. So right now you've got the swing point out here that Priceline is dealing with. Let's get back to the chart out here. The swing point that it's dealing with happens to be from June 11th, just 2 days ago. The low of which is 1213.04. That's a potential B point of an A to B equals C to the downside. Volume there, 748,000 shares. A close below that with more than 748,000 shares, and today would be the day to do it because it's done 210,000 shares out there. That would set up a small A to B equals C to the downside. You say, hey, Steve-O, what does that look like? Good question. I'm going to blow this up on the screen here. Let's go take a look at the small A to B equals potential A to B equals C. This is if you were short this is what you would be looking for. Your A point being the high from May 30th. The B point we just gave that's the June 11th low, and your C point being yesterday's high out here inside of Priceline. 1 to 1, A to B equals CD, and you can see it was almost a 0.618 retracement of that C point. It was 65.28. That's close enough for me. That is a guideline again out there. So 1 to 1 would take you down to about 1185 out there. And in fact, what Priceline could be doing in the 1163-ish area is setting up an actual Gertley buy pattern. That's if, in fact, you saw some type of bullish signal out there. You say, well, how do I know that? Well, the way we take a look at that, we just take a look at retracements now coming off of the low out here, that May 8th area, all the way up to the high that was put in for our A point out there. And you'll see that the 0.618 retracement level happens to really be lining up with our 1 to 1.272 A to B equals C to the downside. So if, in fact, Priceline breaks this low, I'd have to say, if you're short, be watching the activity around 1163.94. And that's a guideline, folks. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com. Eastern legend tells of a fair maiden who was offered a rare gift by the king of the land, a bag of pearls. The king promised that she could keep the largest, most perfect pearl she could find with these 3 conditions. 1, choose only 1 pearl. 2, remove 1 pearl at a time, accept or reject it. And 3, if rejected, it would be lost forever. She began by looking at the pearls, passing on many special treasures. She delved deeper into the bag, and soon the pearls were replaced with pebbles, Sadly, she went home empty-handed. Folks, replace pearls with time because we cannot go back even 2 seconds. We live in the eternal moment of now. So when now are you going to take advantage of my offer to you, a subscription to my daily investment newsletter service, Mastering Probability, where you can experience the most incredible pearls for trading and investing, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator and Strategy. The offer? It gets better. A 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't go home empty-handed. Mastering Probability. Available on the homepage of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, sponsored by Nadex. Up next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. Kind of a flattish market out here right now. The Dow's up 3 points. The S&P is up a little over 1 point. NDX 100 up 10. Russell 2000 up 37 cents. Yeah, I'd say a flat market out here. The composite up 9. The transportation index here bouncing this morning. That has had some real struggles. Maybe we'll go take a look at the trannies here. They're up 0.5%. They're up 40 points right now. Now, the semiconductor index out here, that's up a little over 1%. That's up 7 points. And that's what we're going to go take a look at first before we take a look at the trannies. Let me put up the chart here. So I want to kind of keep things in perspective for you with regard to, hey, is this the big one, Elizabeth, or not? Let's take a look at the SOX. Now, you can see the SOX here almost at its session high for the month out here. It's trading out at 627.41. This market will not go down without the semiconductors contributing significantly out here. Like the financials used to be, you'd say the semis and the financials out here. The financials have really struggled in any of their bounce. They're not anywhere near, their 2007 highs. Of course, the semiconductor index it's well above its 2007 highs. A little shooting star reversal candle out there. Again, the opposite of the brother. That was what takes place at highs out there. There was a signal that happened to be back in the time frame of July 2007. So July 2007, where the bulls and the bears are communicating to us on a continuous basis out here, you did get a signal. You got the real signal here that the change in trend was taking place out here. That took place on the trading session in October of 2007 out there. So to kind of keep things in perspective, with regard to signals inside a marketplace, why will this rally continue out here after the retracement is done? And I'm not saying the retracement is done through yesterday. I'm absolutely not saying that. If I were saying that, I would have taken a long position in the markets. I have not done that here just yet. But there is going to be a point in time between probably now and a week from today when that is the case out here. But right now, if we take a look at the semiconductor index, you can see there's no bearish reversal signals anywhere really along the way out here. Well, the last one that we saw, that took place back here in August of 2013. August 2013, you had a bearish engulfing candle, and that got erased. That got erased really right away out there. And the question I see in the Dan, is there an A to B equals CD to the upside out here? Well, let's go take a look at that. Let me do this. It's going to be easier right now. Let's see if I switch over here. Let me see, what can I do this the quickest on, because I've got just 1 minute. Where are my indexes out here? Come on, show up. Do me a favor. Show up right in front of me. Indexes daily. There we go. Okay, let's come over here. Let me take a look at the SOX this way. Where is it? It should be right in front of me. Come on. Wasting time here. Wasting time. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. Let me put this on a monthly time frame for us real quickly out here. Time frame monthly. Let's go take a look at it. And if we go from the swing point low back in 2008, November 2008, that becomes our A point, 167.55. What I would use as the B point here, you've got really two that you can use. Let's use this one first. This one here takes us down into the retracement, about a 0.382 retracement back in the time period of August 31st. You can see it's above the 1-to-1, 1-to-1.272, A to B equals CD to the upside. What does that mean? It means it wants to go to the next level. What's the next level? It wants to take it to the next level, folks. That says that the SOX wants to trade up to 690.22. That's the that's the ABC. It's one ABC. We can do another ABC. Let's see what kind of confirmation we get there. Your 1-to-1, that's assuming that you go ahead and use the swing point here from October 31st as the number. If you were going to use that and use that as your tactic out here, I'd tell you it only did a 50%. Only did a 50% retracement there. That says that it wants to do more than a 1-to-1, even using that one as well out there. So the SOX, folks, can't tell you whether that's the Red Sox, what kind of SOX it is, but the SOX is saying, I don't think so. Hey, folks, I'll tell you what you should think about. Stay tuned, because the Bull Bear Binary Option Hour with Nate X, Tom O'Brien, Daryl Martin, they'll be up next. Have a great Friday, a great weekend. Look forward to seeing you on Monday.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
You're watching Tiger TV.